Here are the 7 main takeaways you need to know about Russian President Vladimir Putin's meeting in Iran on Tuesday. Number 7. The trilateral meeting between Putin, Turkish President Erdogan, and Iran's leaders Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi involved a complex web of relationships involving Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Kurdistan, Syria, China, and Kazakhstan, among others. The issues and discussions went far beyond merely Russia's war in Ukraine. Number 6. Turkish President Erdogan made clear that while he doesn't necessarily support Russia's invasion of Ukraine, he also doesn't oppose it. Erdogan also made clear that he will have no tolerance whatsoever for Sweden and Finland if they become members of NATO, if they continue to support the Kurds of Iraq, whom Turkey views as terrorists. Number 5. While Putin, Turkey's Erdogan, and Iranian President Raisi discussed efforts to reduce violence in the Syrian civil war, where Russia and Iran support the Assad government and Turkey supports the anti-Assad forces, they found mutual interests in opposing efforts by the United States and the Iraqi-based Kurds to gain influence in northern Syria near Turkey's border. None of the 3 nations want the U.S. involvement with anti-Assad forces to continue. Number 4. Iran and Russia commiserated with each other over Western economic sanctions against both nations for different reasons. All 3 nations expressed joy at the high price of oil and how those prices are helping Iran and Russia in particular increase their revenue despite the sanctions. Number 3. All 3 nations are forming much stronger alliances with China as a result of the willingness of the East Asian giant to trade with them despite American-led efforts against Iran's nuclear policy and Russia's Ukraine invasion. Number 2. Since President Joe Biden came into office, instability is in the Middle East, Central Asia, and Eastern Europe, and it has vastly increased because the Biden White House has reinvigorated the Cold War mentality of East versus West, which didn't exist during President Trump's 4 years in office. And the number 1 takeaway from the trilateral meeting that it has been that while the United States' strategic interest in Ukraine has always been highly questionable, American policy in supporting Ukraine against Russia and in convincing the European Union and the United Kingdom to expend enormous economic resources to support Ukraine and to oppose Russia has begun to destabilize many American diplomacy and economic interests throughout Europe and the rest of the world. And that's the way it is. See you next time.